In this video I want us to look at the 5 operators that you'll be using mainly when you do expressions in C#. You know all of them from school. You've got addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and remainder. Just note which keys are used for these operators. Plus and minus is easy. Multiplication is your asterisk sign, division is the forward slash, and remainder is the percentage. So you need to get used to using these 5 operators. Before I go further on operators, I just want to discuss the concept of the assignment statement. That is that equal sign that you see in these 3 commands. Now what happens with the assignment statement is as follows. Let's look at int sum is assigned to a plus b. There's 2 things that happens when the program executes this statement. It first goes to whatever's on the right hand side of the assignment statement. In this case it's a plus b. So what it will do, it will calculate a plus b, find the value, which is 18. It will then take the 18 and assign it to the variable sum. So after this statement, sum will have the value 18. It is very important to note that sum does not remember where it comes from. Sum does not remember that it comes from a plus b. Sum simply knows the value is 18 after the assignment. So if I say that sum does not remember where the 18 comes from in the third statement, what do you think would happen now if after the sum I say int b is assigned to 20? The question now is, does sum now become 28 or does it remain 18? So if I say sum does not remember where it got its value from, it just remembers the 18, the answer to that then is, even if b changes to 20 afterwards, sum remains 18. Very important to understand that. For those of you who've done spreadsheets, sum does not remember the formula. It just simply remembers 18 and it does not change if either a or b changes afterwards. The 3 easy operators to use is addition, subtraction and multiplication, because it's very similar to math, actually exactly the same. There's nothing tricky to it. We've got 2 variables a and b. One is 7, the other is 10. And then I assign a plus b to answer a minus b to answer b, a times b to answer c. And you'll remember the video on how the console write line works when I use placeholders. So 0, 1 and 2 are the placeholders for answer A, answer B and answer C. And obviously if I add I get 17, if I subtract I get minus 3, and if I multiply I get 70. So there's nothing tricky or complicated regarding the addition, the subtraction and the multiplication. An important thing to understand when you work with the operators and different data types is what happens when you have an int and a double in an expression. And in this example we're adding a plus b or a times b or a minus b, but you will notice that a is an integer and b is a double. Although b is 15, the variable is a double. Now the rule in C# is if one of the operands, in this case b, is a double, then the answer is it must be a double. Okay, so in this case all 3 of those expressions, answer 1 is a plus b, answer 1 is a times b, and answer 1 is a minus b, would thus cause syntax errors, because all 3 of those expressions has one double operator, and therefore the answer must be a double. So if we want to apply the plus, the multiplication and the minus on the variables a and b, where b is a double, we would need to use answer 2, because the variable answer 2 is a double. And that would be valid because we're now assigning the answers of the expressions on the right hand side to a double variable. The division, however, has some complication that you will always have to remember while you program. If in mathematics you say b divided by a or 10 divided by 4, in maths the answer is 2.5. This is, however, not how programming or C# does it. We'll look at the next slide. Just a quick comment on what you saw on the previous slides, that 2 forward slashes and then it says in maths it is 2.5. In C#, anything that you put after 2 forward slashes like this is seen as a comment. So when the program is compiled or run, it ignores all comments. So it's not part of the syntax of the program, it's just a human comment that explains what's going on in the code. In C#, the rule is if you divide an integer by an integer, so A and B are both integers, your answer must also be an integer. So if you divide an integer by an integer, your answer is also an integer. So although 10 divided by 4 is 2.5, to stick to that rule, what C# does is it simply throws away the 0.5 and gives the answer as 2. So 10 divided by 4, if they're both integers, will give you 2. Please note it doesn't round up or down, it simply just throws away the decimal. So if I say it throws away the decimal, when I say 14 divided by 5 in normal maths, the answer is 2.8. In C#, because the answer must be an integer, and because it throws away the decimal, your answer is still 2. It does not round it up to 3. So make sure you understand that. It simply throws away the 0.8 and makes it 2. So just further revision, if I say A divided by B, 4 divided by 10, in maths the answer is 0.4. In C#, it throws away the 0.4 and your answer is now 0. Notice what I've done here, which is something that could confuse you. I've made the answer variable a double, so that means the answer variable can now take decimals or fractions. I know that 10 divided by 4 is 2.5 in mathematics. I'm assigning that value to a double variable that can take decimals. But it's very important to understand the C# first evaluates the expression on the right hand side. It ignores what the variable is on the left hand side. So although there's a double on the left hand side, B divided by A, because they are both integers, is still 2. So it still assigns 2 to answer and not 2.5. This is the trick that you would have to do if you're dividing two integers and you want the answer to be a double or